Hi Aquarius, welcome to your November 2023 Astro-Tarot scope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Though if you're only going to watch one, I do advise that you make it your ascendant sign because I am using whole sign tropical Western astrology, and that way it's going to be the most accurate for you. All right, with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with the forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to pop these to the side and I'm going to give these throw them all over the place. I'm going to give these a good shuffle. So the first transit that I want to look at for us over the course of November of 2023. All right, on the 4th of November, the moon is going to oppose Pluto, right? So not a big deal, happens once a month. Moon, 28 degrees, Pluto, 28 degrees. The south node, 24 degrees of Libra. The north node, 24 degrees of Aries. Suddenly we get a cardinal grand cross. Again, not a massive deal because of where the nodes are and because of where Pluto is at the moment. It's happening once a month, you know, fairly regularly. But all of this is happening across your third house, day-to-day communications, your local area and environment, and also siblings. Your sixth house, your physical health and vitality, your day-to-day habits, working life and routines. The ninth house, your everyday, your higher higher philosophies, international travel, foreign cultures and distant and different lands, but also your spiritual and religious belief systems and ideologies. And then your 12th house of the past, your privacy, like what's happening behind closed doors. So you've got the ninth and the 12th house being activated as a part of this, and this means that there's a very spiritual energy to this too, you know, for you in a lot of ways, and it could potentially be quite mind expanding. Now, Saturn is in your second house of money, finances, and resources, right? And so if you have felt the pinch this last couple of months, if money has been like a real issue or a bit of a bugbear for you, Saturn going retrograde in that second house will absolutely do it. So if you've been worried about money, stressed about money, you've had money problems or issues, that would probably be the reason why. Now, why am I mentioning Saturn? Because on the same day that we've got this grand cardinal cross, which is a powerful, dynamic, forward momentum kind of energy, we also have Saturn going direct, right? Saturn is your ancient ruling planet. So you feel Saturn transits more than, you know, apart from Capricorn, nobody feels a Saturn transit more than the sign that it's in, but also Aquarius and Capricorn, right? You guys will feel it most. Now, interestingly enough, the moon in your sixth house is highlighting what you need for a stronger, more structured routines, right? Or it's actually showing you that that's what you need at this moment in time. You need a solid routine. You need more structure to your daily habits. It highlights that your body needs better rest, better food, healing, support through nourishment, and maybe even through gentle and supportive flowing exercises. Yoga, Tai Chi might really help you at this moment in time. As it opposes Pluto, which is in your 12th house at this point, you're being shown where you don't have any control, and it's in the space of your hidden enemies. You know, not to sound melodramatic, but if you've had sort of people working on you, whether this is through, you know, the dark stuff, whether it's with the eye, right, whatever it is, whether it's just people chatting shit behind your back, right, that 12th house Pluto is real, is serious, right? And you might kind of, there might be, you know, might have been people and situations that have been hugely unfair, right? And this is a part of what you've kind of come to accept now. It's like, you know what, I don't have any control here, right? So the moon is where you can control things. Pluto is where you can't control things. And so in order to support your mental and spiritual health, get into the things that you can control. That's your daily habits, your routines and your rituals. This is what you can do, right? In a square aspect to the nodes, which are in your third and your ninth house, these are houses of the mind, right? And therefore also your beliefs, those skills, right? So this could be that you need to upskill It may be that you need to adapt in order to grow, right? In order for you to really excel. Saturn, your ruler, going direct in that second house of money, finances, and resources, which means if you're prepared to do the work, a boost to your finances could find you now. All right, so for this, look, you've got the Magician card, right? So the power really does lie with you. No matter what anybody else is doing or not doing or working on, you know, in the scene, behind the scenes, the Magician has a wand. The Ace of Wands is the wand, right? So this tells me that not only do you have a lot of power this month, it also suggests that you will have the access to it, especially if you can be really honest with yourself about, and you know, really honest with yourself, but also gathering and gaining information, right? This, around the 4th of the month, I think you're going to get some piece of information that when you get it, when you hear this thing, it's going to click a lot of other things into place, and it might really be a game changer for you, right? You've got the Magician card with the Ace of Wands. This is like, you have the power here to make something happen, right? The way that you've got to do this, though, is when the opportunity presents itself, you need to be ready to move. All right, no holding back. You got to get in, Aquarius. You got to make it happen. But this tells me that you have the power to change your circumstances or any situation that you feel is unfavorable or, you know, inoptimal. Now, on the 12th of November, your modern ruling planet Uranus, which is in the sign of Taurus, which has been there for 3.5 years, it's going to be there for another 3 years. Uranus is the energy of change and adaptation. It's the energy of breaking apart the old, destroying the structures and the routines of our lives that have become stagnant, right? It gets rid of what is old. It's revolutionary. It's rebellious, right? That's why it rules Aquarius, because it's all about progression. It's about what comes next. It's about the future. It's electricity, right? And then on top of that, in the opposite sign of Scorpio, you've got Mars. Mars rules the sign of Scorpio. So Mars is action, energy, excitation, passion. This comes into your career sector in the 10th house. So you've got Uranus in the 4th, you've got Mars in the 10th. What happens when an unstoppable force, Mars, meets an immovable object, Uranus in Taurus, right? This is an explosive energy, and it's hitting you in what we call 2 angular houses, right? 4th house, home, family, property, real estate. That's Uranus. Some kind of surprise or potentially disruption that comes to the home or through the family. Mars in the 10th, some kind of irritant, but Mars is a severing energy. Now, when these two go head to head, I am fully expecting to see a volcano eruption in the news. I'm fully expecting to see an earthquake. It's explosive. It's disruptive. This is a challenging aspect, right? It's opposing, which means whatever comes up, it will not be ignored. You will have to deal with it, and you'll have to deal with it head on. Because this happens, it comes exact on the 12th of November. So I've said to all of the signs, your transit window for this is going to be from the 10th to the 14th, right? That's the area or the time frame that you really do need to observe here. Because these planets also rule technology, I would say right, especially like around home appliances, be very careful with this stuff around the home. You know, anything where you're using electric, anything where you're using sharp objects. Mars is sharp objects, Uranus is electrics. So all of that kind of stuff you want to be extra diligent with. Now, you know, you don't stop living. You don't suddenly say, I'm not going to use any knives from the 10th to the 14th of November. Do you know what I mean? Like, but just have that extra care. Be that bit more diligent. If you're the sort of person that checks the calendar every day, like if you've got a calendar, mark it off. If you want to, you can put a reminder on your phone. You know, Mars Uranus opposition comes into effect on this day. It's going to finish around this day. So these few days, put post-its up to remind yourself. Be extra careful with your sharps. Be mindful of, you know, wherever the electricity points are. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't stop living because of this stuff. But once you know it, you try to factor it into your decisions so that you can avoid mishaps, all right? So you're no stranger to this axis now, because we've had eclipses bouncing back and forward through these signs for you for the last 18 months. The last one was the full moon lunar eclipse on the 28th of October. That's done at this point, right? So really interesting. This explosive combination will have only happened once for you in all the time that we had the eclipses in these signs because of the amount of time that Mars takes to transit the zodiac. What's more, Mars rules your 3rd house and your 10th house, right? Which means that career matters and communications are going to be very much to the forefront. Uranus rules your sign. So there's an element of who am I in all of this? Where am I in all of this, right? Whatever else is going on with home, family, etc., whatever else is going on with work and all the people that you work with or the colleagues, etc., where am I? Where am I in all of this? Where do I belong in all of this, right? So this could be some kind of issue or argument that erupts within the family. It might be that you understand more of what you want for yourself versus what you want for your career. And, you know, now you kind of start to understand why there are odds or how they are. So for this, you've got the 6 of Swords. So this could actually provide a way out with the Knight of Swords, but it's not going to be an easy one. For a select few of you, this does suggest some kind of spontaneous travel that might come up. So let's say you have a family member that's sick, you might be called upon to get there quick for any number of reasons. It doesn't have to be, you know, the worst case scenario. Then you've got the 8 of Cups. So some kind of spontaneous journey will take place when it comes to the family, the work, or the career. I will say that 6 of Swords, because it's a card of things easing up and improving, I almost feel like you will be able to, you'll have a breakthrough around home, around family, around, you know, career. But it's almost like they come at the same time. And so it's like you're having to deal with one situation, but at the same time, you've got some kind of advancement or blessing showing up for you, you know, alongside it. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. All right. On the 18th of November, Mars comes into a Cazimi. This is happening in your 10th house of career, public status, your personal prominence, your social status, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you're an orphan, whether you're a parent, whether you're a homeowner, landowner, business owner. Those are all statuses. That's your 10th house, the most public part of you. Mars, the energy of action, energy, irritation, excitation, passion, willpower, forceful energy, is coming into a conjunction with the Sun. The Sun for you rules your significant others, partners, relationship partners, your significant one-on-ones, whether that's personal, professional, or platonic. If a Mercury Cazimi is inspired thought or ideas, a Mars Cazimi is inspired actions. All right. So this Cazimi is going to ignite a passion in you to work with the right people. This is going to see you getting really proactive from this point on about your career, about your work, about your business, whatever that might be. It will help you realize and start, like in stark sort of, it will help you realize a vision and the clarity around what you want to do for work, right? So that's going to show up for you at this time. You'll start to get really clear about it. The Sun as the ruler of your 7th of commitments and relationships. So you're getting more committed to your career, and it also rules your rules authority figures, which means it's you asking to it's asking you to reach out to them and gain their favor, or maybe authority figures or people that you look up to in your chosen field are really kind of pushing or driving you to get things done, right? And maybe even providing you with opportunities. And it's almost like, you know, this came up with the cards that came up previously. It's like you have opportunities that show up, but you have to move on them. You don't have the option to kind of sit and and ah about whether you will or won't get involved in this thing. You know, whatever it might be. Now, in a connection to Mars, which rules your 3rd house and your 10th house, this could be a very important communication that comes in, but requires action immediately. I also wonder as well if this is a job offer or opportunity of some sort that you can't refuse. Even if you're, like, let's say you're a business owner and you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, well, you know, I wouldn't take a job. No, maybe not. But if there's some kind of work or some kind of collaboration that shows up for you, you know, it's going to be a great opportunity. So be open to it. You've got the Queen of Swords, so you potentially have to fight for this with the 2 of Wands, but the rewards and the benefits will be great. And then you've got the King of Pentacles, right? So this could be a person, it could be 2 people, it could be some kind of opportunity to collaborate with more than one person. You may need to fight for this. You might need to really sort of demonstrate why you're the best person for the job. You got to get in, right? You got to show up for yourself. This is that time, Aquarius, right? It's one of those times where you really do have to show up for yourself. Okay, the next transit on November the 22nd, Venus is going to oppose Chiron. So this is happening across your 3rd house, 9th house axis. This is where the nodes are for you as well, right? So there's something shifting tides in your daily experience, whether this is your local environment or your daily experiences there, or maybe even some kind of long distance or overseas connection. Venus is in your 9th house at this point, and it's highlighting teachers, people that you can work with and connect with, people that you can gain favor from, or people that can actually help you advance your life or your career in some way. It's also bringing a fairness and a balance to all that you do personally. It might ease over like a legal issue or matter if you've got any of those going on. In opposition to Chiron, though, it's showing you where others don't play fair, right? Where communications and skills have been taken advantage of, where you have been taken advantage of actually in some way, shape or form. And I think this is going to provide the impetus that you need. Like once you see it, you'll be like, yeah, I'm not putting up with that anymore. For this, you've got the Queen of Pentacles. There's a lot of people here with the Page of Pentacles, okay, and the Wheel of Fortune. I love this, right? Because even though it's not the easiest of energies to realize that you've been taken advantage of, you recover very, very quickly. And it means that wherever you're going from here, you're moving into a space where you're actually going to be very well catered for, and you're going to be very well respected. You will be really enjoyed, and people will revel and relish what you bring to the table. Love it. And then finally on the 25th of November, Mars is going to come into Sagittarius, which is your 11th house. This sees you getting active, energetic, and proactive about your higher goal, like your higher aspirations for the future. This is a big focus of energy right now for you, Aquarius, because that means the Sun is in Sagittarius at this point, Mercury is in Sagittarius at this point, and now Mars comes into Sagittarius at this point. So you're very focused on your future at this time, and where things are headed. Mars in this sign is powerful, it's fiery, it's adventurous, and it might see you testing the waters in ways, and with words as well that you wouldn't usually use. This could be really exciting. Aquarius loves new frontiers, right? We love the future. We live in the future. We're always thinking about what's next, what's different, what's innovative, what's changeable. This could be an exciting and potent mix that gets you noticed by the right people. The ideas that you're forming right now are incredible. They're getting incredible results, or rather, they will get incredible results in the future. Benefactors, higher ups, people who can help you will gravitate towards you around this time. You're going to be that much more magnetic. I think this is going to be great. I really do, right? There's deals to be made here, Aquarius, and the Mercury as the ruler of your 7th house of partnerships and commitments. Sorry, the Sun as the ruler of your 7th house of partnerships and commitments, and Mercury as the ruler of your 5th house and your 8th house. It could see you connecting with someone who stimulates your mind, your body, and your soul. All right, what's not to love? For this, you've got the 8 of Pentacles. This will definitely center a lot around your work, though. You've got the Empress. This is great things to come. And the 5 of Swords. So you look, the theme of this month's cards for you, my dear Aquarius, is there are fantastic opportunities. The rose-tinted glasses are coming off. And more importantly, there are good people coming in that you can work with, collaborate with, that are going to help you get ahead. Whatever you start to work on, because there's a time sequence here, you've got the Page of Pentacles with the Empress. Whatever you start to work on this month will start to really perfect when we come into April of 2024. That's where you're going to see the results. That's where you're going to see the goods. You have to show up, right? And you've got the Queen of Swords, and then you've got the 5 of Swords. So what this tells me is there are a lot of opportunities coming in, but you have to fight for them, right? It's not going to be enough to say like, oh yeah, I think this could be cool, or yeah, maybe I'm in. Like, you have to fight for it. This is where you've got to really start showing up, okay? So for your full moon and your new moon, you have, so the new moon for you in the sign of Scorpio, that's in your career sector. The career, the social status, the public status, how you present to the world is shifting and changing in some regard. All right. The full moon, sorry, the new moon, you have the gate 12 and caution. Before you make any career moves, especially with yeah, just in general, before you make any career moves, take a moment to really observe and consider whether what you want aligns with what is presenting to you at this moment in time. That's a really fancy way of saying don't accept things just for the sake of accepting them. Accept things that actually align with where you really want to go. And then finally, for your full moon, you have the gate 21 and control. What's really interesting about both of these cards, the caution card basically says throw caution to the wind. So this is a time for you to be open to everything that comes to you, but just ask yourself, does this really resonate? Like, is this really, like, is it in line with what I actually want? So this is about not being too cautious, but clear on what you want. The gate 21 and control is not about having control, it's about relinquishing control. And that happens for you in the 5th house, because the full moon is happening in the sign of Gemini. That's your 5th house, right? And so what this says to me is your 5th house is pleasure, joy, romance. It's, you know, sexuality and fun. It's like, you know, when when you're dating and you're having lots of adult fun time and all the rest of it. That's the 5th house, right? It makes your heart race and makes you feel like your knees are weak and all of that stuff. That's kind of saying that full moon wants you to relinquish control and just say, you know what, I'm just going to go with it. Whether it is or isn't going to be anything, whether it's for long term or whatever, I don't need to know right now. I'm just going to let it unfold in its perfect timing. And then finally, 5th house is also your children. If you have children, this is potentially a message to, yes, you have to give them structure, guidance and boundaries, but it's also important that you don't try to control who they are, right? You got to let them find their way to being who they want to be. With that said, if you would like to get your personal Astro-Tarot scope, this is just 20 minutes. Imagine what we can do with an hour and 15 minutes. I'm having great fun. We're getting into some really great stuff with clients doing this work. So if you want to book your personal Astro-Tarot, you can do so on the link in the description box below. Before we finish, I would just say I'd love to wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.